What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. We're so dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I am not JesseKazam.
No.
Despite what you may think.
Despite what you may think. I am Veritas. He is JesseKazam.
Brother, I'm losing my mind.
What's going on?
I'm just so bad at the Binding of Isaac.
Oh, no.
The last 48 hours. Holy
You're in the end game now.
Yeah, I mean, some of the alt characters, bro, are fucking. It's like, do you want to stick a hot poker in your eye hole or in somewhere else? Right? Like,
you're getting Kappa in Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Are you going for like a 100%, or are there just like specific characters you would like to get the alternate versions of or whatever?
So like I don't really care if I do or not.
Yeah.
But I like right now I'm just ticking all the boxes.
Yeah. The experience of doing it, new runs, new characters. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I keep going for however long, then I'll eventually 100%, which is called, I think, Dead God or something is like the name of the achievement.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's 30. There's like 10 bosses that you have to beat with 34 characters.
Jeez.
And then there's like 50 plus challenges.
Yeah.
There's some like hidden things that are like, one of the things I recently unlocked was there's a character called the Forgotten, and the way that you unlock them is, this is one of those things, like, I don't know. Yeah, I think there might be like mega giga obscure hints that after like 1,000 hours, if you'd been like writing shit down and knowing that, you would have been able to figure this out. But otherwise, I don't know if they data mined it or what. But if you kill the first boss on the first floor in under a minute, you hear this noise that's like footsteps running like above you, and it's the mother, and she says, "Isaac." And it's like, what's that noise? I've heard it a couple times. We're like, oh, what's that noise? If you then go to the starting room and drop a bomb in the center, it blows up, and then blink, 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 from the ceiling comes half of a shovel. You pick up the shovel.
What the?
And then all of a sudden a shadow appears above your head, and a foot comes stomping down, and another foot comes stomping down. And basically, until you are done, and I'll tell you what happens when you're done, every room, all the time, constantly, there's just feet stomping down on you from above. It's like mother's feet.
Yeah.
In every room while you're just playing the game normally. And you have to beat the boss rush. So what the boss rush is you get to the first major boss, which is the mom fight, which is normally where the foot comes down. You have to get there in less than 20 minutes. Which involves like some hustling.
Yeah,
like, you gotta go fast. And then a door opens up and you fight pretty much every boss in the game, 2 at a time in a row in one room. So you do all of that while the foot's stomping down.
Jesus.
And then you get the second half of the shovel. And then her foot stops stomping.
Okay.
And then you make it all the way through like 4 or 5 different floors to the end. And then there's a room like right before one of the final bosses that just has like some funky colored patches of ground that normally like you can't really interact with. If you use the shovel on like the patch of ground there, you like dig up the body of this character. That's how you unlock one of the characters.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was a lot of fun unlocking. And then now I've been playing a character that's based on, there's like always this dead body in the shops. It's the shopkeeper. It's like the dead body of the shopkeeper.
Okay.
And you play as the keeper. And so you're capped on health. You only have 3 hits.
Okay.
And they're coins. So like coins are the currency, but also your life.
Oh, when you play this character?
When you play this character, yeah.
Oh, damn.
So, like, if you have 1 HP and you pick up a nickel, you'll end up with 7 HP. Or, sorry, a dime. You'll end up with 7 HP or 8 HP and 3 hearts or 3, whatever. But yeah, there's some really interesting considerations and stuff with this character. And but last night, dude, the ways I've been losing. I'll give you the story of one. One of the harder bosses is this boss of Delirium.
Okay.
That it's just this massive room and you fight. It basically changes like a psychopathic seizure in between all the different bosses.
Gotcha.
But like times 10 speed, and the screen's like glitching out and they just teleport and it's like crazy.
Yeah.
So I was playing I as the keeper last night. And I had 3 health, and I had 9 lives. I picked up this dead cat item that gives you 9 lives.
That seems nice.
It's nice. So, but when you die, you respawn with 1 coin heart, basically.
Gotcha.
And everything is a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
So you'd then have if you die during the fight, you then have to start and do the fight all over again without getting hit once. Now I literally beat the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like this crazy, the screen gets all staticky and it's like a 4-second animation that's like the death of this thing before everything calms down and like you win.
Uh-huh.
And in that period of time, I get hit by something. So like literally everyone's like, yeah, let's go. And all of a sudden, bloop, I'm outside with 1 life outside. That's like, and that happened to me 3 times.
No.
One time, like it gets to the end and there's just like, it's bullet hell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it gets to the end and I'm like in the corner of the room and I'm like, not moving, my hands on the keyboard, but like, it's exactly where it was. Basically, you kind of end up, you use the arrow keys with your right hand to shoot in the 4 like cardinal directions. Okay. So most of the time you're sitting there and you're like holding left or holding right or whatever in the direction you're going, like almost the entire game.
Yeah.
So after that, after I killed him, I was just didn't want to touch anything, didn't want to move, but I was still holding down the shoot key. And I had this ability that basically like it would shoot off in like a V pattern.
Okay.
Like, straight and then with a V.
Yeah.
And I also had a thing that basically was your tears have a random effect. And one of them at that very moment was an explosive effect. And if I'm in the corner up against the wall and one of the diagonal ones, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, finally, oh my God, I did.
Oh like, my God.
No, dude. So it's like
getting Tarkov'd in The Binding of Isaac.
Chat witnessed me throw 10 times in a row in the same fight, getting down to, and it's like you see the health bar go down, and it's such a slog, down, you're dead. You're outside with 1 life. It's like, oh God, I've just been dying to crazy bullshit.
God dang.
And it's either the game and some of the whack sort of mechanics like that, or today I completely threw because you can like really min-max certain things. There are these rooms that you sacrifice health and you get certain things and you kind of there's a risk reward, and then there are other rooms that like you can only the door opens when you have 1 HP, otherwise it's closed. But if you're like really, really powerful, you're like, I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
So you feel confident and the risk reward is there. So I was like 98% of the way through the run. I had 1 room to go before the final boss. But I'm like, I want to clear everything out, want to min-max. I mean, I'm like an unkillable God of War, just like laser beams coming out all over, and I'm like,
yeah.
So I'm going to go to the sacrifice room. I'm going to go down to the 1 HP because there's an item in the boss trap room, which is the one you need 1 HP for, that I want. That'll just be fun interaction. Now the sacrifice room, there's 12 like steps.
Okay.
You step on these spikes and it just does 1 full point of damage to you. And the first time it's like there's a 50% chance to drop a coin. The second one is a 50% chance to drop a coin. The third one, there's a 33% chance to get like a chest.
Yeah.
So it just keeps escalating until it's like you fight an angel and they give you half of a key.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You'll get teleported to this epic room and all this stuff. But I was just using this room to take away my health because actually I had an item that healed me. Like explosions healed me. So I couldn't even like put a bomb at my feet and damage myself.
To lower your own HP.
And I'm like, okay, I've got one room I need to go to, and I'm hitting the spikes, and all of a sudden, bloop, I get teleported, and there's the the transition screen, and all of a sudden I'm in a completely different area of the game, completely forked off, can't get back, because the 12 out of 12 of this is there's a 50% chance you get teleported to like the end boss, but a totally different one.
Oh.
And I wasn't looking on the screen to see where I was, so I was just like, take damage, whoop. And now it's like, oh, no, there's no way back.
What have I done?
And it was like, dude, I was like an hour and 30 minutes into this run. And it was a run that like you can finish a run in 45 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. If you're
do
just
like all the things. But this was like, I'm going to go everywhere. I'm going to do all the things because it's fun and I'm unkillable. And I just fucked up. And it's like, that's just been the last 2 days have been that. And I'm like,
pain.
I hate myself. I hate the
pain.
game.
Oh my God.
But I'm still having fun.
Yeah, of course. It's like that. There's a certain amount of that's like part of the experience of a roguelike. You know what I mean? It's like the pain and the suffering is part of it. Oh, that's crazy. That's sick though. That's cool that there's still like, it's not just you revisiting an old game that you used to like there's new content, there's new things to do. Maybe not new as in like it just dropped, but you are like doing new things. You're not just like, oh, nostalgia for Binding of Isaac. You're like, I have goals. I'm doing things. I'm enjoying it. I'm whiffing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all this stuff. So that's dope.
And it's hard. It's fun. I mean, there are some annoying things about the game that like, if I could change, I would change them.
Yeah,
but otherwise,
of course.
like the fact that it's like a 13-year-old game or something like that, it's still getting updates. It's the game's in the best state it's ever been. I was watching earlier today. I was watching Northern Lion. I usually put on like something on my laptop in the shower.
Yeah.
I can like peek through the shower curtain onto like my the next to where the sink is. Just put my laptop there, and I was listening to Northern Lion do one of those like tier lists of all like 500 items. But this was 3 years ago.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And he was going through and like. He generally he knows what he's talking about. He's got tons of time in the game. But like some of his picks were completely like what? Yeah. And basically it came pretty obvious pretty quickly that like this was 3 years ago before before an expansion and before tons of nerfs and balancing. So like some items he's like this is terrible. I'm like, what do you mean it's like one of the best items in the game? And some of these other ones, you know, he's talking about that like win the game for you on the spot, and it's like that doesn't do nothing. Like what do you mean? So the game has changed so much. So anybody who's played it, you know, 3, 4, 5 or more years ago, you should jump back into it. There's been a ton of people that have gotten into it.
That's sick.
After watching it on the stream, and they're like, yo, this game's so much fun.
That's dope.
And there's like endless content
for sure. Dude, speaking of games that are old, that are still getting updates, did you see anything about the new No Man's Sky update, Worlds Part 2 or whatever?
I saw the Sean Murray tweet about it.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't click the video to watch it because like I need pants off, you know, laptop on my lap, ready, hot cocoa, popcorn. You know, I need to be in the right
it's not
state
out
of mind
yet, I don't think. I just saw a little snippet from it. I saw like a snippet of an interview with him about it, and he was just saying that they brought some of the tech, because obviously like the No Man's Sky was like a huge learning process for them. Small team, tried to do the most ambitious game of all time, failed miserably, and then over the course of 8 or 9 years, like full-blown redemption story. And then we talked about at the Game Awards or whenever they announced it, they announced Light No Fire, which we were both like, yo, that looks sick as hell. And then conceptually, it's like, okay, I'm so excited to see what a team like that does with their second game because they redeemed the first game. Like, if they hadn't done all that they had done, everybody would be like, yeah, whatever. But it's like they literally, like, they did it. It wasn't like they were like, we can't do it, but we're going to do this. They ended up doing everything they set out to do and more. So then you're like, oh my God, what is this team going to do? Anyways, and he ended up saying that like a lot of the stuff that comes in like these newer No Man's Sky updates are like when we figure something out for Light No Fire and we like want to put it in No Man's Sky, like tech stuff. So he said like they added like 1 trillion new planets to the game. You know what I mean? And like a bunch of environmental
they added
stuff.
New planets?
Yeah, they added in like lighting and all sorts of stuff that got me being like, oh, No Man's Sky looks sick. But it got me just even more excited for Light No Fire because I was like, dude, this game is gonna be insane, dude, bro.
We gotta play that shit, like,
bro. If there's like co-op or something, we absolutely should. I guess, yeah, it is. That I think they like very explicitly said that. Yo,
the nature of the multiplayer function will be co-op. At this point, there's no PvP. Yeah,
for Light No Fire.
Yeah, that's what some Reddit post says.
Bro, holy, that would be sick. Yeah. But yeah,
pre-release member. Yo, I want to be on the pre-release. What the fuck, dude?
What the hell? But yeah, I just was wondering because I know you fell deep down the No Man's Sky rabbit hole not too long ago, and they're just still crushing that game. It is crazy how much content has come out that they haven't charged for. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
They haven't been DLCs. They've just been free.
They've been free expansions. Like, that is like truly unheard of. Like, almost like, how are they making money? But then it goes back to what we've always said about games is like, if you make a good game, people pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, the only new money they've gotten since the launch has just been people buying the game. They're not charging people for DLC. They're not charging people for deluxe editions. It's like they fixed the game, they worked on it, and now there's hype. And anytime there's a new update, people hop in and, you know, people get excited about it again. And then that, you know, drives sales. And so, dude, holy, it's like, it's just, crazy.
If you think about it, they sold as of 2 or 3 years ago, according to this Reddit post, over 10 million units, and there's a it was a $60 game until recently. I think it's been on sale for $30. So, I mean, what is that?
$600 million. Yeah. And weren't there only like 11 of them working at the studio when it launched? Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's what I wonder, because like you would assume that what they just all like split that, but if they were like a startup or whatever, they probably, you know, those guys probably were getting paid like normal game developer salaries.
Yeah, for sure.
While like, you know, a few of the dudes, Sean Murray and whatever, were making most of the money. Although I'm sure they gave them bonuses and all.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure the money goes into like a corporate account. It's not just all going to Sean Murray and then he's paying people out of his pocket. I'm sure people got, you know, paid. I'm sure they hired new people. You know, you got to think, you know, how many of those sales were from Steam? Steam takes a cut. You know what I mean? It's like it's not just number of games times how much game cost.
Yeah, $600 million like after taxes and Steam. He probably made like $100K.
Yeah,
you know?
Probably like 15. At least. He could probably got like a McDonald's gift card or something.
Yeah.
No, but it's like
definitely.
It's just it really is like, make a good game and people will talk about it. You know what I mean? And I'm just super excited for Light No Fire. Holy, very excited.
I can't wait. I just wanted to like, these days I just like I don't care about anything. I want no one to talk about it. I don't want anybody to release any trailers. I just want the game to come out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like at least what my experience was with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which everyone's been talking about. Like a week ago, one of my viewers was saying they were playing KCD 1.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I really need to get into that. And then all of a sudden people are like, yeah, KCD 2, everyone seems to love it. I'm like, yeah, the game just came out. I didn't even know. And that's like, I mean, I'm sure I've been living under a rock, kind of on purpose, but that's the way I kind of prefer it. So I'm actually, my tentative plan, depending on, I don't know, where my interests take me.
Yeah.
Maybe once I'm done with Isaac, I think I want to play Kingdom Come 1 first.
Oh, yeah?
I guess I would ask, I don't know, maybe like the community, what do you guys, if you've played the first one and or the second one and or maybe just seen gameplay of the second one, like I wonder what the consensus is going to be around, like, should you play the first one? Is it going to like pick up the story, or is it like a totally fresh?
Now I'm completely green. I'm completely fresh to it like you. But what I've heard it compared to is almost like The Witcher 3, what it did to the Witcher series was like, if you're a hardcore like lore nerd, play the first Witcher games. But people were like, what The Witcher 3 did was they like perfected the formula, and playing the first games, you're just going to want things that's in the third, like just if you're coming in, just like play the third game because it's the most quintessential Witcher game. Like they nailed it. And so I've heard it compared to that, where they were like, a lot of the things they were trying to get off the ground in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, they like stuck the landing in 2.
Yeah.
And it's not like too much of an overlap with the story, that it was like, if you don't care too much about lore, you're just going to be playing the first game wanting the second game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I heard that comparison. I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense, because that made sense for me for The Witcher 2. But I also feel like that would be fun to play through both of the games. I also didn't know it really existed or what it was. I heard Deadly talking about it, and then somebody in chat was like, bro, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 tomorrow. And I was like, oh. And then I think I saw like a few clips of it, and it almost looked like, once again, I don't know, it almost looked like Mordhau plus an RPG, with the way the sword, like, and how you swing. Apparently, like, the combat they took a lot of time into, which just reminded me a lot of Mordhau, and like the radial thing where I don't think it's probably not that extreme, but that was my first seeing anything of it, was a little bit of the combat, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, I remember looking at KCD for the first time, and it's been like years since I really like watched anything about it, but I remember a couple years ago looking at some gameplay and thinking, I don't know how much of this is just like, you know, you look at something, you get an idea.
Yeah.
I didn't really, like, people didn't really talk about it much, but, you know, I saw some trailers, some gameplay, you know, like 10 minutes of, you know, insert random YouTuber playing.
Yeah.
And it looked to me like if some like random indie developer wanted to make like an Oblivion kind of clone sort of thing, like it, I guess I don't want to say took it seriously, but it always just looked kind of goofy and janky
from the sidelines.
But then a few people fairly recently talking about it, you know, within the last year, have said how like incredible the game KCD 1 was. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I like watched some other gameplay for some other game, and then like
thought it was insert like medieval game, and you were like, I don't really know anything about it other than so far people are like, damn, this is a banger. Like, I've been seeing a lot of 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s. So I was like, oh, cool.
You know what I'm genuinely worried about? I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna be like, this game's dog shit.
Yeah.
Like I know people won't believe me, but I don't want to be like a naysayer.
Yeah.
You know, I just, you know, it's like meaningless now to be like, I just tell her how it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
But I mean, that's like the truth. I didn't make any videos about Stalker.
Yeah.
Right? Like me mauling about Stalker being bad on, you know, Stalker 2 being bad here. It didn't, all it got was some hate in the comments.
Yeah, it's not like you
make us any money.
From,
I have no motivation, right? I'm not like trying to be dramatic or you know, to go against the grain. I played it and I thought it was fucking bad, and I explained why. I really hope it's good, because I don't want to have to be like, this game's bad, guys. What are you talking about?
Yep. Listen, I mean, I've got no idea.
There's no way that it's going to be like 3 for 3, right? We had Starfield and then Stalker.
Yeah.
Although
Baldur's Gate 3
now, except Baldur's Gate 3 was one of the greatest.
No,
of
I
all
know.
time.
I'm saying not all your gaming opinions are, hey, this game sucks. It was like you
yeah.
also took the opportunity to be like, oh my god, this is this is a gem of our generation. This is one of the greatest games of all time, right? Like,
yeah. I guess like I think a lot of the hate over my criticisms of those games, the hate of my criticisms didn't age well, given that now Starfield is a meme.
Yes.
It's known as, now they might have done some things to like improve it or whatever, but like it's known as like a garbage game.
Yeah.
It's like No Man's Sky basically without the redemption story.
Yeah. It's No Man's Sky in reverse.
Yeah. And so then there's that, and then I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I also think it's like expectations too. Like one of the big things about Starfield was like that it was like a big game from one of the biggest game companies, and then everybody was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And so you were like, how do this many people think this game is good? And I think there was a little bit of that same about Stalker. I feel like Kingdom Come to Deliverance 2 is a more niche game with a more niche audience, where you're like, oh, if you liked the first game, this game came out, you're like, of course you love it. It's like super fun. It's not like, at least from my beings on the internet, it's not being proclaimed that this is the greatest game ever made like Starfield was, however briefly. You know what I mean? So if you pop in and you don't like it, it's not like you're like, oh, okay, I get why the fans of the first game would like the second game. This isn't like the second coming of gaming Christ, and this game is going to save us all, like some of those other games were almost portrayed as initially.
Yeah, but I'm going to not watch any content, not watch any streams, not watch any game. I'm just going to like jump in and play, I think. It seems like some people are saying that you don't need...
Yeah.
See, this is exactly what people were saying too, though, with like Stalker, where it's like, oh, maybe just watch a lore video to catch up. I think maybe then I just won't play KCD1 and I'll just jump into KCD2. You know, because it's like you can play Skyrim without ever playing Oblivion.
Yes.
There might be some references that you don't get, but it's not required. It's like its own story. There may be some of the same characters or whatever, but yeah, I mean, going back to this, looking at Stalker, the recent reviews are mixed.
Yeah.
69 percent.
Nice.
Only 69% are positive.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
No, but then again, I feel like Steam
reviews
they got review bombed
are
or
not always. Yeah.
But no, but I think the review bombing that happened like right away though.
Yeah.
And if you look at overall, it says it's very positive. But recently,
interesting. So that probably is pretty accurate then, if you're just looking at the recent reviews.
Yeah, and honestly, all of the reviews that are negative that I'm looking at right now, they seem genuinely like, they don't seem like, fuck.
Yeah,
Eastern
like bots.
European,
Blah,
blah,
exactly.
Blah, like whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows?
Dude, what I've been dabbling in a little bit recently is Arma Reforger.
I've seen a bunch of people talking about it.
A bunch of people have been playing that. Yeah. So like, I'm on my, my arc with gaming, with Tarkov, with Delta Force and stuff like that. And so it was really like time and place. Any other time, a year ago, 6 months ago, 18 months ago, if my friends were like, dude, Arma Reforger is really fun, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But where I'm at now, I was like, sure, like I'll try it. You know what I mean? I don't really know. I'm such an Arma noob. Like, right, Arma's been around for forever. Arma 3, I feel like, has been around specifically for forever. It's crazy how influential of a game the Arma series has been. Because Arma is like the pinnacle and and for a long time the tip of the spear when it comes to like milsim games, right? Just in general.
That's the one where like people are fucking on comms like Delta 1, this is Bravo.
Yeah. Squad does a lot of that too, but Squad came later. So like Arma 2,
maybe
Arma
I was
3.
thinking about
Squad is a
thinking
little
about
bit
Squad.
can get more of that. There's definitely Arma servers like that. But anyways, so
Wasn't DayZ an Arma mod?
So yes, Arma has been the tip of the spear for the entire like mil sim genre. DayZ was originally an Arma mod and is still kind of because Bohemia Interactive owns the DayZ and Arma. So DayZ, which is basically the father of the entire survival genre as we know it, PUBG and H1Z1 were also originally Arma mods, which the entire Battle Royale genre, you can thank Arma for Fortnite. Isn't that crazy to think of? Think of those two communities. But, you know, I remember, you know, Epic Games put out this little micro documentary way back in the day, where the Battle Royale for Fortnite was a super last minute decision. They saw PUBG blowing up and they were like, yo, what if we just kind of like threw a map together real quick and did a Battle Royale? Like they chased that trend and now Fortnite Battle Royale is everything. And that only became because PUBG took off, and PUBG took off only because of the DayZ mod, or the Arma mod, which was a different version of the H1Z1 King of the Hill or whatever. So it's like Arma has been the source of a tremendous amount of gaming shifts. But anyways, so Arma Reforger, I don't know if you know much about it, but it's like...
I know nothing about it.
So hold on. When did Arma 3 release? So Arma 3 released in 2013. So the game is 12 years old. And people have been like wondering when Arma 4 is going to come out for forever, right? And 2 years ago, Arma did this big thing, and they were talking about their new engine, the Infusion engine. Basically, they like built an engine for Arma because obviously Arma is a very modded game and stuff like that. So they built, and it's like there's all sorts of different experiences you can get in Arma. Arma isn't just like you play the story of Arma. Like you hop into a server, you know, it can be anything. So they were like, we're working on this new engine, but Arma 4 is basically nowhere near ready. So what we're going to do is give you this game called Arma Reforger. That is basically, we just like took all the assets from Arma 3, put them in the new engine, and we're giving you the engine to just like mod it. Like Arma Reforger it's like Arma 3.5. It's just like, here's the new engine. You guys go crazy with it while we work on Arma 4. And so that when Arma 4 comes out, the modding community is familiar with the engine and they can just like go to work, right? So Arma Reforger came out 2 years ago. And the reason it just kind of spikes in popularity is like if, you know, a group of people make like a cool new server experience, like it came out 2 years ago. I remember about a year ago, it popped up a little bit again because somebody made DayZ, but on Arma Reforger, so it's like the newer engine. So it was like new DayZ 2 almost. And so like that, it kind of popped up in popularity again. And anyways, Clean and his team recently released a bunch of servers and they are like popping off and like a bunch of content creators got in. So that's kind of why Arma kind of resurfaced. But I hopped in, bro, and let me tell you, I have been having the time of my life. It is so fun. So, but I've only played these servers. They're called the WCS servers, which stands for worst case scenario. And it's basically like, dude, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of everything I wanted Gray Zone to Warfare to be.
Okay.
So in these servers, it's 128 players, 64 v 64. You either pick NATO or Russian. And
is it always full?
Yeah, most of the time. So like a lot of times when there's a queue to hop in, you have to like wait. So there's like 6 NA servers and 6 EU servers, and each server's like a different map. So it's like, we're like, oh, NA2 only has, 5 people in the queue. Let's hop in there. And basically there's like, it's a huge map. I mean, you played DayZ, so you're like a little bit familiar with just like how Arma looks and feels like, because DayZ is basically the same thing. Humongous map. And there's like 11 or 12 like bases, rally points, and the two teams are basically nonstop fighting for control of as many of them as possible. And like if one team ever takes them all over and holds it for a certain amount of time, that side wins. But like a game of WCS could last 6, 7, 8 hours. Like it's not like nobody's really like trying to win or lose. It's just about like being in there and doing it, but you're always trying to like push and take as many of these as possible, and then the enemy takes it and you have to go back, and it's just this nonstop push pull. But so basically it's just like it feels like essentially just a 24/7 war. You just hop into, you pick a side, and you can do whatever you want. You can get a Jeep and you and the squad just like go the long way all the way down to the enemy camp's main base and just troll them and kill as many enemies as you can. You can go to be super strategic and try to cap this point, because then that allows you to do this. Like you can play the game. You can get a sniper and go by yourself and just like lay in a bush for 8 hours and snipe.
Like, I would ghillie suit, get on a fucking mountainside in a bush.
That's 100% what people do. Like I've seen videos where people just spend hours in one spot. They basically look at the map and you know where like the enemy holds these points. And it's like, these are most likely going to be the most common spawn areas where when they die, they respawn. So I set up here, assuming that this is where all the traffic is going to be. And like every 5-10 minutes, you know, a Jeep or 3 Jeeps roll and he hits the drivers and then just like bang, 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 bang. He kills all these people and then he just waits and more people come. And it's like, you can just sit there for hours and do that. You can go to the front lines. You can.
Now see, like there are some games. The first one that comes to mind was Battlefield. I remember maybe it was Battlefield 1. When you'd like look at the sniper in the area, there would be like a glare off, like an artificial glare, so that you could see the sniper. And I know like even Tarkov, there really isn't any way for you to like, given how like the bushes don't fucking render in after a certain distance, like if you are in a position where the enemy can't see you, you probably can't see them because of the bushes and whatever. So it's like, could you sit in a bush and all you would see is just like a barrel sticking out, right? And like, and all you hear is, and you see someone go down.
You really
and like,
can.
Sniper.
You really can.
So sick.
Like eventually, the people just start deducing what direction you're shooting from, and a lot of times they'll just get lucky because at this point they think it's a sniper, so they're scoping into all the bushes. You know what I mean? And so like they might eventually see you. And there are armbands. Like you're wearing an armband. Like all the NATO guys have blue armbands and all the Russian guys have red armbands because friendly fire's on. So a lot of times, so it's a lot like Gray Zone where when you pull up the map, you see all your friendlies. So if you see a guy running out in the field, you know, you pop open the map and you're like, that's north. I think that's friendly. If you zoom in on him and you like see the blue armband, you're like, oh, okay, that's my guy. So like they might catch a glimpse of that, but you can really hide. Like you really can hide for a while. You can do supply runs. So a big part of it is like you can only respawn at a base that's not your main base, that's literally all the way in the corner, if there's enough supplies at this rally point to spawn. And then when you spawn there, like if you want to spawn a Jeep to get back into the action, that costs supplies as well. So some people just do supply runs, which peppered around the edge of the map are like little green parts on the map. You go there, pick up supplies, you drive back, and then you deliver them to the thing. You can also do that on a helicopter. So everybody starts the game as a private. And then as you do things, you get, you rank up. So like you killing enemies ranks you up. Driving a troop transport, driving people from one place to another ranks you up. Doing supply runs ranks you up. Capturing a point ranks you up. Holding a base ranks you up. And then once you get to like certain levels, like a sergeant can call in a helicopter. And so now with that helicopter, you can do attack helicopter where you're doing runs. You can do supply helicopter where now your supply runs can happen much quicker. You can do troop transport helicopter. Like the amount of times we like spawn in and then you just hear over the comms, someone's like, I got 4 seats in the chopper. We're heading to Louisiana. And I'm like, let's go. You hop in and they do these hot drops, dude, where they like flip the heli upside down, land you just in the middle of the shit. We all pop off and he just leaves. And then you're just like, oh shit. And we're like scurrying around. Dude, you can just do whatever you want. It's exactly what I wanted at Gray Zone, but an infinite amount more action. Like you choose if you wanted to like spend 4 hours without seeing another enemy, or if you want to be in the enemy's face 17 seconds after you spawn every time. You just spawn in, hop in a Jeep, run down, and you're in the fight. And anything in between. You know what I mean? Like that.
How long is the ride in the Jeep?
It depends. It depends on like sometimes you get stuck where like the enemy's doing a really good job at applying pressure and your team sucks at supplying places. So you died. The 2 rally points closest to you have no supplies. So you have to go to the far one, spawn in a Jeep, and it's going to take you like 7 minutes to get there. But most of the time you just go to the adjacent one and hop in a Jeep and you're back really quickly. Or you're trying to now go to a different point or go to a different route or whatever. But
how's the gunplay feel? How's the movement?
So it's Arma. It's DayZ. You know what I mean? The hit reg is so weird, bro. So weird. It's like it's Arma. It's DayZ for sure. It's the one thing that gets me.
I would have thought like by now a game like Arma would just have
me
that
too.
nailed.
I don't want to ruffle any Arma fans' feathers, but like me freaking too, bro. Trust. It's definitely way better than DayZ in my experience. Every time I've played DayZ, I just like can't get over the player controller. It just like drives me nuts. It's better. It's slow and it's very like you can do whatever you want. You can be low ready. You can be high ready. You can have lasers there. You can have all sorts of stuff. There's tons of quality of life stuff like the nods. All the nods have gamma adjustments. So you can turn up or down the brightness of the nods when it gets nighttime, which is like incredibly helpful. It's smooth zoom on all the scopes. The full auto things feel pretty, like most guns feel pretty controllable in full auto, but the trade-off you get is, this is super weird. I don't know if I like this yet. There's no hold breath mechanic in Arma, or in these servers at least. And once again, I've only played these servers. There's no hold breath mechanic. So if you're standing and you see a guy like 100 meters out, it's like, now, crouching or proning basically does what hold breath does. So I
hate to say, but like that's kind of realistically
That's why I'm
like,
saying I don't know if I like it or hate it. I'm used to the video gaminess of just hold alt and you go, and then you can snipe anyone. So I would say what I don't like about it is how clunky it feels. But what I like about it is how often you're running and you just hear thing, 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 and you're like, oh shit. Because they're not always hitting their shots because it's hard to hit shots. So like it's a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? It makes the experience feel more immersive for sure when you're just like hearing and you know they're at you and you're like, I have no idea where I'm getting shot from, and you're just trying to like run around.
Oh God, that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, dude, it is. And so like, and the comms are such a hilarious part of this. So there's like proximity chat where you talk and like the enemy, if they're close enough, like the amount of times I've like linked up with random friends and then you start talking and there's an enemy in the bush right next to you and you didn't know that and he hears everything you're saying. So there's that. There's group radio, meaning like 12 people can join in a group. And you have your own radio frequency that you can just talk to your group, not to the 64 players on your team. And then there's your whole team radio. And you literally can like adjust.
And like the dudes are in Discord with each other.
Exactly. So what a lot of times we do, the whole group radio gets toxic and just like annoying. It's just like nonstop people talking. So you just go into the radio and change the frequency of that one away. So it's just our group radio and then our proximity comms. And then like playing with Ham is so funny because he'll like swap the group radio back on and be like, we need support. And he'll actually like call in, people to come drop stuff. But anyways, the comms are so funny, dude. You can, if you kill, so like if we're NATO and I kill a Russian, you can loot them like in Tarkov, and I can put his red armband on and take his radio and listen to the conversations that are happening from the other team, and then like use that if you want. So like a lot of times people will tell you to like go to other channels or do whatever, and like you can just blend in. It's so fun. Hello,
fellow blue team members.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, fellow NATO members. But the comms are just so freaking hilarious. Like there's also a unconscious state. So a lot of times when you go down, you don't die immediately. And like, if you wait long enough, you'll come back up, which kind of helps it not just be like nonstop one-tap deaths. But you cannot talk on the radio when you're unconscious, but you can VoIP when you're unconscious. So like when you, the the comms are so funny when you like kill a guy and he's just like talking shit while he's unconscious, and like I just pick him up and care. I literally, this guy, he was talking shit to me, and I was like, I picked him up. I was like, "You're coming with me." And he was like, "No," and it's we
had that moment in Battle Bit, dude, dragging somebody.
Dude.
It pulled him into one of those like concrete things, and it's just like, no.
Dude, the comms, when you need to get like the original dad on Arma, like get the character out. You know what I mean?
I need Foyt, dude.
Yeah. There was this time I was with a teammate, not in the Discord call. Literally, I just like met this guy on the field, and this dude in a Jeep rolled up, and he hopped down and got on the gun, and he was about to like shoot us from the Jeep, and I sniped him, and I was bleeding, and I didn't have any more meds, so I ran up to him, and I couldn't loot him because he was in the trunk of the car where I killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so to my team, I was like, "Bro, do you have any bandages?" And he was like, "Yeah, I have this. And then the guy in the trunk goes, yeah, dude, the just give me a second. I'll get up. I think they're that way." And we were like, "Oh, yeah, man. He's like, "You guys are friendly, right?" And we were like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, dude, I think they're this way. Just give me a second." So we just sat at the Jeep and waited for him to regain consciousness. And he stands up in the back of the Jeep, and we just mow him down. And he goes, "Well, that wasn't very nice." And we just left him there, bro. It was so funny.
So do you have like a black screen?
Yep.
Does it say,
it's kind of like,
is it the DayZ, "You are unconscious"?
No, it's like tunnel vision. And sometimes you'll just wake up. Sometimes you're bleeding. And so you'll end up bleeding out if somebody doesn't like help you. The medical system is a little hard to understand. But, so dude, it is like, it's a great game to play like sometimes with your friends. There's no like progression, right? There's no like, I'm doing quests, I'm hoarding loot, I'm progressing, whatever. So I don't know that it's a game that I could like only play and put 10,000 hours into, but the experience of it has been so much fun because it really feels like it's what DayZ and Arma do well. You know what I mean? It's like we talked about Tarkov a lot, and one of the things we talk about how like Tarkov is like on rails. You do this quest, you level up, you get to 42, you get max traders, you buy whatever you want, you get Lightkeeper, you get Kappa, and it's like outside of that, it's like just go PvP. There's nothing else to do. The complete other side of that coin has always been Arma and DayZ's bread and butter, which is like it's all emergent gameplay. There's no progression, there's no narrative, there's no story. It's just emergent gameplay. And because of how little I've played those games, it's so refreshing to just like get in a server with the boys, spawn a Jeep, play Fortunate Son, and the world is ours. Like we just go where we want, shoot who we want, and you can just, it's one of those games that's just like a time deleter. It's just like, let's go take Alpha. And then 8 hours has passed and it's just like crazy. It's so fun. So
is that what you've been doing? Like
once or twice a week. Yeah. I've been popping in and just spending the whole day in Arma. Apparently there's other servers, like somebody else made a couple of servers called Wasteland, which is almost more like a Tarkov experience where you like spawn with nothing and you're going through Tarkov or like DayZ where you're like looting up and killing guys and taking their stuff and you can build like a little base or at least stash a little bit of loot. I've heard about those servers. I haven't played them. There's King of the Hill servers. There's DayZ servers. There's like, it's Arma, the whole point of it is like the world is your oyster. But there's something about it's one of the reasons why Arma is popped back up on the radar, because there's something just about how they've dialed in the WCS servers that's just like, I don't know. It's just mad fun. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So that has been a joy to just like hop in and goof off and do whatever you want. It's like nonstop laughs. And there's some part of it, the jank, you know what I mean, is part of the charm of the game. You know what I mean? It's definitely not the most optimized, gaming experience ever, but it can be like, it's crazy how it can be so hilarious. Like literally I feel sick. I'm laughing so hard and also so immersive. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like night hits, like there were a few times where chat was like, dude, this is like, what's happening? Night hits, we're all like whispering over VoIP because genuinely when you talk on the radio, there's a small area where it proximity chats. So like even if you're not trying to VoIP, if you're talking on the radio, if there's someone,
Can you turn your radio off?
yes, yeah,
You got to be able to be like, when
yeah.
you hear footsteps nearby.
But if you're talking on the radio, if you're like, oh, I think there's guys in this building, like if the enemy is close enough to you, so we're literally like whispering, like, let's go this. All of us nods down, dude, like moving super slowly, and then all of a sudden, somebody on a roof sees us, RPGs us, and then all of a sudden it's like I've got an M249 and I'm just like just suppressing fire at the roof of the building. We're all going around and it's like nobody knows where anybody is, where the enemy is. At nighttime it's hard to see the armbands, and you're like, dude, this is immersive AF. It's like insane. Oh man.
Is it like hard to get into? Is it one of those things that's like there's 900 controls and it's complicated?
Kinda, yeah. That like I it almost lost me on the first day just because I was like, what's happening? The medical system got me where I was like, dude, what? Like it's what? I have morphine. I have what's the other one? It's the epinephrine. I got morphine. I got epinephrine. I got a saline bag. I got bandages. I got tourniquets.
Someone has a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly. And it's like, what am I doing? And the controls are like weird. Like if you hold right click, you do the daisy zoom. But
but if you
I love it too. But if you click right click, you ADS, and then like it's in Tarkov, there's different keybinds for switching. Like if you have a LPVO with a red dot up top, that's a different keybind than but in this game it's the same keybind. And so it's like there's definitely, if you've never played Arma, there's definitely a bit of a learning curve, but once you get over it, it is like literally the world is your oyster. And getting through the learning curve, here's the thing, getting through the learning curve doesn't matter. It's not like in Tarkov where every time you die, you lost something.
Yeah.
You just spawn back at base and go back into the fray. You know what I mean? Like,
and you have a loadout that you...
So you have a stock loadout, and then in the main base, each team has like in literally the opposite corners of the map, there's main bases with unlimited supplies. So you can go there and go up and save 3 loadouts. And so like the NATO, you can do whatever you want. You can get a DVL or like all sorts of different bolties, all sorts of ARs, LMGs.
So everybody's decked out. Like...
Yeah, exactly. And this is an interesting thing that this server did. You can have a primary weapon and a rocket launcher. You cannot have 2 primary weapons. So you can't take an M4 with a red dot and a bolty. And they did that because they were like, we don't want people to just have everything and just be literally unkillable. Everybody needs the ability to take a launcher because there's vehicles in the games. There's Jeeps, there's tanks, there's APCs, there's helicopters. So you pick one primary and you can pick a launcher. So it's like I have like an AR, like an M4 with a Voodoo or like a Sig Tango and suppressed. And then I have a kit that's like an LMG, like suppressing fire, just hundreds of mags. And then I have a bolty kit. And then you can save all those loadouts. There's all sorts of cosmetics, there's helmets, there's gear, how much ammunition you want, meds, and then you just save those 3. And then at any of the points, as long as there's enough supplies, you can just grab that kit. So you just save 3 kits that you want, and then you can play for hours and hours and hours just doing whatever you want.
Does the sniping feel like a lot of games taking a bolt action is pointless because it shoots the same rounds as like a DMR that's semi-auto, so you're just at a disadvantage. Are you like, if you're accurate, are you one-shotting everybody with a sniper?
Well, yeah, if you're hitting heads, you're one-shotting everybody with a sniper. And the thing about the thing that's always been like a Daisy or an Arma thing is engagement distances. So muzzle velocity. When you're bringing a bolt action, like if you're bringing 5.56, it's not crazy to see someone 300, 400, 500 yards away if you're trying to snipe. And with a bolty with M61, you know what I mean, dialed in, it's way easier to hit that shot to connect it with a bolty versus like an AR.
308 DMRs? Like,
I don't know. I've used M4s and HKs and the LMGs. I actually don't know. Yeah, some of the longer range scopes are only attachable to snipers. You can't attach. So like, you can have an Elcan or a Tango, but that only goes 6x. But if you want 12x, 18x, 24x, because you're trying to snipe, you can't put that on an AR. So
yeah, see, that's one of the ways in which you balance it so
Yeah.
that like bolt actions make sense, right? Like
Yes.
otherwise, why would you use a DVL in Tarkov
over
unless
Yeah.
the game says use a bolt action?
Yep. Yep.
It's just inferior in the game
Yep.
because it uses the same bullets. So
Yep. I think there are DMRs because you can use an SVD on the Russian side. You can use an SVD or like an SV98 or whatever.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Then on the Russian side, yeah, AKs, RPKs, LMGs, stuff like that. There's all the attachments. And that's what's nice too. It's like you have everything, all the attachments, all the suppressors, all the brakes, all the nods. You don't have to unlock it. So you can just like kit up how you want. You know, do all the friction at the beginning, setting up 3 loadouts, and then just play. And it's definitely, it has all the things that make it fun can make it toxic, where like sometimes it's not fun to die 8 times and you're like, I genuinely don't even know where the enemy is. But that is the cost of being the guy that nobody knows where you are. You know what I mean? If you want that experience where you're like, dude, they have no idea where I'm in a good spot, I'm suppressed and I'm shooting them far enough away, they can't hear me, I'm on this point. Well, that means guys have to keep spawning on that point and get shot. And you're like, okay, that's kind of lame. But if you just give it enough time, that's really exactly what it is. It's like 1 or 2 moments happen where you're just like, oh, I see. Like, I see why this could be fun. And then you're just chasing the dragon. You're like trying to get those crazy, crazy moments. And it's been mad fun. Once again, it's like a perfect like salt and pepper. Like once or twice a week, hop in with the boys and you do it. Like, I don't think I could like Arma main, right? But like, it's the perfect, just fun. The comms are insane. It's good times.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So I've been really surprised by that and excited. It's been fun to just hop in that world because, like I said, very influential game. People have been around that game for forever, and they're just constantly tweaking and doing new experiences. So I've been doing that quite a bit. Playing, dude, I've been bouncing around all over the place. In a way that makes me like happy and sad at the same time. Like I've been playing Arma, I've been playing tons of Delta Force, and I've been still playing Tarkov. But like, and in a way, I'm like freedom, right? Like I'm just playing whatever I want. But then on the other hand, some part of me is like, but what am I doing? Like the content creator brain, does that make sense? Like as a gamer, every day you just hop on and play whatever game you want to play with the people you want to play it with.
Yeah.
But as a content creator, it's like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What is this? What purpose does this serve? Am I getting content out of this? If I'm not getting content out of this, then what are you doing? And so the hopping around has almost been freeing on one half of my brain, and the other half of my brain introduced some stress.
Yeah, because I don't think. Well, I don't know what if you would be interested in this, right? But like I went through the same kind of thing where it's like, do I want to be? I can maybe be variety streamer, but
yeah,
I don't know that I would want to like make 3 or 4 YouTube videos about Balatro and then 5 or 6 YouTube videos about Isaac, and then like it's either I'd want to stick to something, and because the dream is to find a formula.
Yeah.
It's to do the Northern Lion 800 part series once a day.
Yeah.
You know, like, but that's a commitment.
Yeah.
That you're not even, I don't know if you're like me, but, you know, I could play Isaac for the next 3 months.
Yep.
Or I could be over it a week from now. The moment I like put out video number 1 of a series, and then it's like after 2, I'm like,
you're like,
I'm on to something else. I just got a bunch of people excited about a series. And then also the other people who weren't excited, who maybe were like, okay, he's playing this game I'm not interested in, like
I'm out.
Unsubscribe, like I'm out. When you're like, no, wait, I'm not, I'm doing something else. So, I mean, that's kind of why, I'll be honest, that's a big part of why I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to make gaming videos anymore.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm also kind of still struggling with what I want to do. If I just want to, like low-key stream variety stuff and not make like video content from it while I'm working on 3 or 4 big videos a year or something. I don't know.
For sure. So it's been a challenge, and it like, I'm really happy. Content creation is weird. It's like you would understand everything I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to like say it in ways that like kind of make sense. You know what I mean? To other people.
You're just playing games, bro.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
No, content creation is weird because it's like, in a way, I'm happy to be uncomfortable again because it provides a drive for me that I haven't had for a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like when there's nothing to lose, you know what I mean? Like I was going crazy. Like I remember for like an entire year, you can go to my channel, my YouTube channel, and check the dates. I wanted this so bad. You know, I wanted to do what I'm doing now. I wanted to make it. I've said before, I lost my job right at COVID. That was right when we found out my wife was pregnant again. And it was like, well, what job? My wife, time to my wife, 10110. What else am I going to do, right? Like COVID hit, I lost my job. It's not like everyone's hiring. So I dove headfirst, you know, I've been doing this. And so for that next year, I wanted it so bad. 5 days a week, I'd wake up, I would think of an idea for a video, I would research it, I would film it, I would edit it, I would thumbnail it, I would post it, I would go home, I'd make dinner, I'd have dinner, I'd come back into my office, and I would stream for 4 hours. This is 5 days a week. I made 5 YouTube videos a week for a year. It was just like, I wanted it, you know what I mean? And then, you know, I like made it and I do the thing. And for the past like year or two, I felt like in Tarkov, I've just been, and this is not Tarkov's fault. We've been talking a lot about how like, you know, how much I love or hate Tarkov, but I, as a content creator, just like sunk into the rhythm of like, I just stream Tarkov and I stream Tarkov a lot. And out of that comes, you know, funny highlight videos. And, you know, I make videos about news whenever there's news or whatever. And I just kind of like the focus shifted to like, I just stream Tarkov and then whatever happens out of that happens. Some weeks I get a funny video, some weeks whatever. And so this breaking of that cycle has made me, like I said, has almost stressed me out more. You know, I've been doing more variety and my numbers have been decreasing a ton. I've been doing more variety and now all of a sudden I don't really have any videos to post because all the videos I've been posting recently were just like highlight videos in Tarkov. And so there's a part of me that's like really stressed. And then there's another part of me that's like, ooh, like this stress is kind of nice because it's like relighting that like, well, okay, what am I doing? Like, what do I want to do? And a big thing I've been thinking a lot about recently is like divorcing the stream and the YouTube channel. Like, I'm not saying this is the wrong or right way to do anything. I'm just saying for me and my channels, I don't like how reliant on the stream, like the YouTube content was. There wasn't intentionality. Like, you know what I mean? You've been making like the most intentional videos, like this crazy Baldur's Gate video, the Starfield, the Billy Mitchell, the Flat Earth. Like, there's so much intentionality. I felt like my YouTube channel just became like, I streamed all week, and out of that was like came this, or like this drama's happening in Tarkov, so I'll talk about it or whatever. And so a big thing that I've been processing with this, like I've been playing variety and doing a lot, is like kind of divorcing those things. It's like I want to be able to stream whatever game I want to play and have fun. And I want the YouTube content to be like intentional, bespoke content I think would be good YouTube content. And so that's like the two things had just become one in my brain for so long. And I'm like trying to pull them apart again. And that allows me to like kind of have more fun on both ends, because it's like, I'm going to play Tarkov today because I thought of a really fun video idea. And so all day on stream, we're going to do this. We're going to VoIP everybody and try to get them to, you know, say they love me or whatever. And I'm going to spend all day doing that. I'm going to have more fun playing Tarkov because I have something to do. That video is going to be better because it was conceptually from the beginning a video I want to make. It wasn't just like I was playing and this funny thing happened. It was like, I want to make this video.
Yeah.
And then a few other days that week, I can feel less stressed about playing Delta Force or playing Arma to less viewers because I'm being more intentional with both sides of the content. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I wouldn't have gotten here to like really be processing that without kind of jumping out of Tarkov and then back in and then playing Delta Force and then playing Arma, and the stress, the unexpected level of stress that arose after just like 1 week of playing variety has kind of sent me down this like, okay, well, what am I doing as a content creator? What do I want to do? What's fun? What's not fun? And yeah.
Dude, I mean, I feel you 100%. What you're saying is like stuff that I've been thinking and feeling, and I'm in this weird spot where, I have been working with, we have a custom home builder. Me and my wife designed, well, actually, so we had designed a custom house from scratch like 7 years ago.
Yeah, and you like lost him, right?
And then, well, yes and no. COVID hit, and we kind of basically were like, we've been living below our means since college. Like, I bought my house in college, and got one of those FHA first time home buyer 2.8% interest, 2.8% interest, assumable mortgage too, which is also huge. And of course, the price is like tripled since then. But and there's something really nice because, a few years back when everything was popping off with Tarkov, and drops and all the big streams, I took all my money and I paid off my wife's car. I paid off my student loans. I paid off my wife's student loans. Yeah. Over $300,000 in student loans. Jesus. I paid off 25 years early. Yeah. So we basically like no debt except for our house, which is like, she's a pharmacist, making great money. And there's something to be said about like, it's not that I'm frugal because like I spend money on ridiculous, I buy 7 guitars when you really only need like one, right? But generally like my savings account has been like the high score. It's like the donation box in in fucking Isaac. Every like 10th run, I bomb the donation machine and I take out a chunk of it. But overall, like it's always trending upwards
in the right direction.
We've just been super frugal, and basically after, at the beginning of COVID, we basically said, you know what, like there's nothing that we liked on the market. We weren't so sure about building. There wasn't really much land. The pandemic hit. So we said, we'll just wait. Now, 5 years later, we, start to look back into it. And that's when it was like, fuck, where are the plans? Like we paid these designers. We couldn't find the plans. I ended up finding them in my like Google Drive in like an email I sent, because my Google Drive is like 99.8% full, and Google keeps yelling at me. Long story short, in this house that we're trying to go through the process of building, we've got these plans. We have builders basically trying to give us numbers, although some of the socioeconomic, political things that are going on right now make that really fucking difficult. Getting, like lumber prices.
Yep.
But I have a studio on paper that's going to be like 600 square feet. It's literally a 3-car garage with a great room above it. And that is like music recording, streaming, video recording, VR, bar area, the whole thing, my dream, area. And I keep picturing myself in this fictional place that doesn't exist yet, and I don't want to fucking do anything. I don't want to record. I don't want to record another like face cam thing here if I do a video essay. I don't want to like hook up mixers and wires and cords and guitars and all that. I just like, I'm like so turned off of doing anything here. But I'm like a year out from having studio done. So that's like where I'm at. And I'm in this weird place where it's like, I just am not motivated to do anything here in this space now.
Yeah. Dude. Yep.
Which really fucking sucks. But it's like, I couldn't possibly go buy like a split level on like a quarter of an acre. Like I can't.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna literally YOLO, you only live once. I don't want to buy
1,000,000%.
the same house that I've been in 8 million times. It's just gonna have different color walls and my shit on the walls. So
For sure.
I don't know, man.
That's like it's what we work for, to be able to do things. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm 100%. I'm totally with you. But I also feel that, man, because I get that way as well about like smaller scale things where if I know this thing is coming in, do I really want to spend any time fixing this? Even, you know what I mean? Or do I really want to do this? Because I know. And so I hadn't considered that on a scale that large where you're like, oh my God, like I have it. I have it on paper, actually, like the plans, and I see it in my brain and I know what I want to do. And so the thought of, especially with how big a lot of your projects have been, like, it's not like you're filming a highlight video, you know what I mean, where you can get it done in a week. It's like these projects are huge and take time. It's like, oh man, do I really want to start that here and either finish it there or get it done right before? It's like, how much better could it be if I have all the resources laid out over there? Yeah, I can see that.
Because I do want to do some more, like folding ideas, H-bomber guy.
Yeah.
A little bit more. Not that I want to be on camera.
No, but yeah.
There's something to be said about for your brand.
100%.
Right? If it's just a voice,
yeah,
that's one thing, but also having my face is another thing. But then also a part of it is kind of like a little bit of a hack, because if I have 3 hours of voiceover and none of it is camera, I need 3 hours of fucking B-roll.
Oh, yep.
And motion graphics and stock footage, and it's a lot of extra work. But if I have a 2-minute sequence where I'm talking to the camera and then I cut to 10 seconds of whatever and I'm talking to the camera, and then it's like it's literally a third of the work.
Yep.
But I just don't want to set up. It's like,
yeah.
Part of it is that I have a lot to learn, honestly, about lighting and setting up the cameras, and a lot of planning I want to do around, like, I want to have mics in the room, and I want to get another drum set, like a real drum set, not my V drums, because I miss having a real drum set.
Yep.
And I want to like set it all up and have everything ready so that I can walk over to the couch, flip the like key light on or whatever, and
just go
have a little whoop, and have a fucking teleprompter, and have the lighting and everything. It's all set up right. As opposed to like here, if I wanted to use this camera, I need to take it off the tripod.
Yep.
I need to bring it somewhere else. I need to set up the lighting. And sometimes it just gets like overwhelming where it's like, I can't get the camera to work. I need to have all these memory cards. Fuck, I don't have any memory cards because I just have this direct plugged in to,
bro.
The moment I like undo it, I haven't touched this camera on this tripod in like 4 years.
Bro,
I am
the same way.
The button.
It seems like such first world problems, but I could not align with you anymore. Like my setup for streaming, I will not touch it. I do not want to touch a single piece of it, dude. It's just so much stuff happens and breaks, and if I put it back, it's not the same angle, and I set up the lighting for the same angle. I will not touch anything. I totally get that.
And I'm not updating software either. I'm not doing anything, dude. I'm not updating OBS. I'm not updating Stream Elements. I'm not updating GoXLR software. I don't want to fucking update anything, and I also don't want to unplug. I'm like looking at and I've got cable management, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 wires that I can see going up from the hole in my desk where it's routed through up to behind my monitor. And that's just one PC and a camera switcher and a Stream Deck and the GoXLR and a monitor and 2 keyboards and 2 mice.
Yep.
I want to get a new PC, but I don't want to get a new PC and set it up here.
Yeah.
So so I'm procrastinating on getting a new computer and getting camera stuff and lighting. So it sucks, but I'm just kind of stuck.
I feel you. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
for sure.
That's where I'm at now with that. A lot of people, we got so much positive feedback on the last episode.
So
I can't believe
much.
how many people were like, the last episode was my favorite episode.
Dude, I was gonna say, I had so many people come and say the same thing. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so
I genuinely thought it was gonna be the opposite. Because we didn't talk about gaming. Oops. I just opened Opera and it just made a really loud noise that you didn't hear, but the VOD on YouTube might hear. Anyways, I really thought that it was going to be the opposite, where people are going to be like, what are we talking about here? But dude, people were vibing with it, man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the comments were most of the comments were super, super positive. I literally saw like one negative comment, and then it had like half a dozen people today come in and say how much they loved that episode. And for those who missed it, basically, we went really in depth into how people behave on the internet, and it kind of broke down a story I had where a troll came in and was being weird, and I went through his entire chat history, and it was like really bizarre, his behavior, and I got him in a Discord call, and we talked for over an hour, and I just was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, explain why you are such a degen.
Why are you gay? Have you seen that video?
Nope.
Oh my god, bro. It's this. Never mind. So
yeah. So anyway, now should we say what we were planning?
Oh yeah. Because if you watched last week, then you know about the guy that you got on the Discord call. You know a little bit about that story.
Yeah. So now a ton of people were like, I want to hear this conversation, because I streamed it, but I did not route his audio to the VOD.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You can basically split the audio so that audio goes to the live stream, but it doesn't get saved to the VOD. A lot of people do it with music so that you avoid copyright stuff. You can listen to. Now, I'm not advocating anybody do this. Blah blah blah. I'm not a lawyer, whatever. But like, people do this so that they can listen to fucking Nickelback or whatever, and then on the VOD, it's not there.
Yeah.
And I did that in this case because he was an internet troll. I was getting in Discord. I didn't want him to scream the N-word, or whatever, right? Like, you never know what people are going to do.
Yep.
So if you were to go to the VOD, whatever day it was, I don't remember, then you would hear one side of the conversation.
Veritas talking to
where
himself.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why do you act like? And there's just like silence. So yeah, it would be pretty funny. But so we've had a ton of people that are like, I want to hear that. And I mean, I'm not gonna put the whole thing up on my channel. So what I basically thought was, and I ran it by Jesse, and we're figuring out kind of when, and you guys will have to tell us if you're interested. But our tentative plan is basically, it's an 1 hour and 4 minute long video where I go back and forth with this kid talking about, questioning him on his motivations and the why, and we would basically have a private, like, off stream, kind of like how we do the Patreon episodes. Live reaction where we pause and talk about the things I'm saying or the things he's saying. And a back and forth. It would probably be a couple of hours. Director's commentary.
like a reaction / director's commentary. Because I haven't heard any of it. I didn't know about it until after.
Yeah.
And then you probably have a lot of like, just because you did it, you've been chewing on it, so you probably have a lot of thoughts. I'll be reacting. You'll be director's commentarying.
Yeah. So we're planning on doing that. We just need to set aside a couple hours.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're busy, family stuff and whatever. But so our plan is to do that and to put it up on the Patreon.
Yeah.
So for anybody who wants to support us that way, you'd be able to enjoy that kind of exclusive content.
Yeah.
So
behind the scenes. In addition,
that's the plan,
which works because I mean, once again, the response to last week's episode was great, and that's been cool. So dude, I'm about it. I totally get where you're coming from with how you're feeling. You know what I mean, and like with being kind of stuck, I'm kind of working through getting out of feeling stuck. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's like, if you as a viewer, have been listening for the past like 10, 20 episodes, I know that's a lot of content, but I've had people come into the channel and make jokes about just like how they're like witnessing in real time the like, decline of me playing Tarkov or whatever. It's just like, I say that to say that you've been seeing me struggle with like trying to, I've always known that eventually I wanted to like, be a variety streamer. That's just the dream for any streamer, right? To be able to do whatever they want and make a living and just like wrestling with all the things. It's like I felt like I've been realizing that I've been feeling stuck without really noticing it because I'm so addicted to like the grind or the numbers or like, the growth or whatever that I kind of like let myself feel stuck in Tarkov. And so I've been, all the right things aligned and I've been kind of like forcing myself out of that. I've been really enjoying playing other games. And then, you are, it's funny because people, all the conversations about how like, we'll be here, like, I want to play other games, but I got bills to pay. And then people are like, we'll be here for you. We're here for you and not the game. And it's like, I know you are, and I'm so appreciative of that. Like, you have no idea how much I appreciate the fact that I know that what you are saying, you believe, like you will be here for me or whatever. But whatever. And it's like the stars aligned. I was like super excited about Delta Force, super disenfranchised with Tarkov. And, for the past 2 weeks, I've been playing a ton of games, and I've been playing a ton of games to 40% of my viewership at normal viewership. And so it's like, it's coming and then it hits and that still hits hard, even though it's coming. And it's like, but in a weird way, I almost needed it all. I needed the mental health break of taking time away from Tarkov. I needed the content creation, the opposite of a break. I needed the actual almost like crisis of doing the thing and feeling the pain to crack me into like, okay, well then start taking this seriously again. You know what I mean? Like, create content. I feel like I wasn't a content creator. I was just a streamer that uploads to YouTube sometimes. And I like really miss being like a YouTuber, like a content creator. Seeing you do a lot of the stuff, like seeing your success with the Billy Mitchell video, with the Flat Earth video, with the Chandler Halderson video has been so inspiring to be like, oh my God, like if you looked at your YouTube video up to that point, you're a Tarkov YouTuber.
That's 500 Tarkov videos. And
you were able to like make these bespoke pieces of content independent from like your stream. Like you're playing Isaac, you're listening to, you're doing research, but you're playing Isaac or you're playing Factorio or whatever. And they were both able to be what you needed them to be, right? You were creatively fulfilled by doing this thing. And for the Billy Mitchell video, the success was there. And because of that, there's less pressure on you to be like, I need 800 viewers because I'm a Tarkov streamer. Blah. Like you can play Factorio and do whatever you want because you're getting filled doing a thing. That thing is getting rewarded and you're enjoying it. And then that means, and so like, that's the kind of stuff that like, oh man, I've been breaking that and I needed all that. And so I'm in a weird way excited about like where I am, but at the same time, like stressed and whatever. But, yeah, it's just all the things for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm you kind of explained, what my sort of plan, my vision is in the long run. I would love to stream and like I said, have the streams be chill and then come up with, these big projects that I'm really, really proud of and have that basically like be, 80% of the revenue for the brand.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, like thinking about how like 8 years from now, what will you be doing? Like, fuck, I have no idea how relevant these platforms are going to be, how much they're going to change, whatever. Yep. And I start to think about like, this is why all these random people start like esports orgs and why they start like PC building companies, because it's like there's kind of need something else,
an end game,
if you want to think about, because I mean, I'm not going to be 50 playing video games, or maybe I will. I don't know what's going to happen.
Genuinely,
I think it's like a it would be too good to be true total pipe dream, right? To assume that that I would be able to pull something like that off.
Yeah.
And like even like the market would support it, like I feel like, Twitch streams as much as it doesn't seem like it, because there's literally millions of people who make this a part of their everyday life, right? Like,
Yeah.
But I can't help but think like Twitch is going to be MySpace.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, not a defunct website or brand. I mean, like, an obsolete platform type.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be some other. When MySpace was out, we weren't thinking about live streaming, whatever. Yeah. So right now, we're not thinking about like, oh, we're just going to have Neuralink fucking in the drift.
Yeah.
I'm direct experiencing the live, fucking action. All of, I've got Neuron connected to my entire body, and I go out and I'm like, everyone's like surfing or hang gliding or skydiving or like they're porn stars, and you're just going to connect into and just experience that, right? And it's like, those are the content creators of the future. And it's like, oh, am I going to want to, am
I going to be able to keep up with that? No, probably not.
No. Yeah. So I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm under no illusion that, I'll be doing this 10 years from now. And I also don't know or don't think I want to go back to software. I feel like, man, I feel like, I did 10 years as a professional software developer. But even before that, I feel like I had quite a lot of experience and diversity.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I was 18, I got my real estate license. I sold real estate in high school. That was a whole different world. Right. Yeah. I was a lot more involved in like politics back then and politics that I don't agree with now, but like when you're just a young, impressionable college kid. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about business. I learned a lot about sales and marketing. I learned a lot about networking. When I was in college, I got my property and casualty insurance license and fucking sold insurance for 2 years.
Oh, dang.
I worked at State Farm like a good fucking neighbor.
Wow. Veritas is there.
Yeah. And then I also have had jobs in food service and retail. I had management while I was getting my fucking graduate degree. I was managing the front desk, business side of a fucking indoor skydiving wind tunnel.
Oh, yeah. I forget about Shmoney
while
Bake
at the
Schmam.
same time, what was that?
Shmoney Bake Schmam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the food service.
Yeah.
Shmoney Bake Schmam. And then one of the skydiver friends I met while I was working at the wind tunnel, he's the one that kind of pushed me over the edge, and we started a software development company.
Oh, dang.
So I started that and did that for about a year. And that was basically like going from being casual programmer to literally within a few months making software for, companies. And then I got my graduate degree, spent 10 years as a software engineer. And then I've been doing content creation as a hobby, turned into this. And I've been doing this for 7 years or something now.
Yep.
I kind of just feel like with all of this stuff, I don't know that I'd want to just like go back to.
Oh yeah.
I just need. I'm. Even though I was really good at my job, I was a really good engineer, and I feel proud enough to say that. I just feel like I need more life experience, more diversity. Like, not that I'm lacking it, because I think I have more life experience at this point than fucking a lot of people do. But there's just, I don't know, man. I want to move on to. I'll be a fucking college professor. I'll be a police officer. Like, I don't know what, but it's got to be something different.
For sure.
Yep. I don't know.
I totally get that. I am that way. Yeah. I am that way in a lot of things. I mean, we moved here because we didn't want to go backwards. Like, we didn't want to like move back home. It just felt like going back to something. I totally feel it, where it's like I couldn't go back to working a retail job or a food service job. And that literally is what like drives me to keep doing what I'm doing, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't go back. But I also totally I get what you're saying, where it's like you want a new experience too. It's not just like, I don't want to go work at a food service job. It's like, I want to feel something new, do something new.
Yeah, we don't get to respawn and start over. Life isn't a roguelike, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be and maybe this is like midlife crisis, right? But like, it's not going to be too long from now that I'm going to be 60, 65, if I'm lucky, looking back and thinking like, what have I done with my life?
Yeah.
I don't have much time left. Did I waste my time? What did I experience? What did I live? We've got a few decades to experience as much as we can of the entire universe.
Yep.
I don't want to go back and work the same job I did.
Yep.
Yep. I just
Yep. 100%. I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look back in 20 years and think I wish I would have got Kappa one more time.
Oh my God.
Lol.
Yeah. I'm already, I'm only 2 years past and I'm thinking I got it one too many times. I wasted. I could have done something else. No, I will say though that's funny. I will say that like 100%, it's so interesting, like defining success in any one of these metrics that we, view when you look at like what we do from a top down view. But like, so because I've been bouncing around so much, like playing Delta Force, which very understandably is like a very polarizing game. If you're a Tarkov Andy, like most of the opinions are either like, I can't believe you're playing this Fortnite, Call of Duty, Chinese shill knockoff of Tarkov. Or it's been like, holy shit, as an 8,000 hour Tarkov veteran, I picked up Delta Force once and I'll never go back to Tarkov. Like those are generally the two things. So I've been playing a lot of Delta Force, which is pretty polarizing. I've been playing a lot of Arma, which some people might think is boring. And I've been playing Tarkov. And so on one level, it's like when I go back to Tarkov, even when I'm playing Tarkov to like half as many viewers as I was a month ago. 2 months ago before I started doing this, but my enjoyment playing Tarkov is like 5x'd because it's not the only thing I play. Like today, literally, we spent 7.5 hours just playing labs with Trey 24K today, and it was the most fun I had playing Tarkov in a while. Like it was just like we were in like one cheater, and it was just like goofy, fun raids, great PvP. I don't care about like questing or how much money I have anymore. So when I die, it's like whatever. And I had a blast. And so it's so interesting to feel that it's like I am being successful in elevating my own mental health, having more fun playing games. And that has allowed me to come back and when I play Tarkov, genuinely enjoy it so much more. And what that cost is like half of my viewers. You know what I mean? And it's weird.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it's just weird, and it's understandable. And once again, I get it. I get that a lot of people love consistency. You know what I mean? They love knowing that like every day at 11 a.m. I can go to Twitch. I'm at work. I can put on Jesse, and he's playing Tarkov. Right? Like I don't like Delta Force. I don't like Arma. I don't want to have to see what he's playing. And so a lot of people click on another streamer that they know is going to be playing the game they want to watch, and there is nothing wrong with that. I am not saying that half of my viewers abandoned me. I get it. Like I'm providing entertainment. You're like, we say this all the time when somebody comes in and they're like, oh my God, why are you doing this? I'm always like, you are in control of the content you consume, right? So I have to hold that view upright when half of my viewers leave because I've been telling them you're in control. If you don't, if I'm playing something you don't want to watch, I totally get that. But it's so hard to define success. It's so hard to feel successful that I am making the right choice by prioritizing like, okay, don't.
If the line doesn't go up, then no success.
Exactly. So it's hard to define that success and be like, okay, I got to a point where like Tarkov was like genuinely draining my mental health. And doing X, Y, and Z has helped with that and made me even enjoy Tarkov more. But that came at the cost of some other success, at least temporarily, right? Like what I'm hoping is that I can spin this whole thing into kind of reigniting my love for like making content and, I still am addicted to line go up. I still want to do that. But where I'm at now is like, I have to figure out how to make line go up without mental health go down. And so if I can do that, I want to do that. I still want line to go up. I still want the million YouTube subscriber plaque. I still want to be a 1,500 viewer Andy on Twitch. Like I still want those things as much or more than I've ever wanted them. It's just I was floating around the toilet bowl, going down and down of 6 years of playing one game, 9,000 hours of beating my head against that rock, hoping that I would, reach this level of success and then be able to do other things. And I just like, okay, well, I have to pivot. I have to make a pivot. I'm just mad all stream on my content. I work with Frankie and Ghost Pixel, and they edit a lot of the content, and I'll go in and I'll watch a bunch of the shorts or clips, and I'm like, I'm complaining in all these. Like, I'm just bitching. And like every time I die, I'm just whining, and I'm like, oh no. And so it's so hard to just internalize all that, to be like, okay, to avoid me doing that, to make my content more positive and more fun, what? And it's such a mind fuck, because it's like the content became more negative on average, my content did. Then the comments on my content became more like, you're just so negative. So, but what it takes to change that to positivity causes the guy who was watching my content commenting about how they wish it was more positive to just stop watching my content. So once again, how do you define success here? At least when I was negative, that guy was watching my content and commenting on it, but now but he was right. It was more negative, and so I had to do this. And so it's so weird to like, it's a ball of spaghetti. Which spaghetti strand do you pull on and say, this is the successful one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and people think content creation is you play video games, then you pay a guy to edit together some stuff and you put it up, and it's like, it's either funny and it's going to be good and it'll be successful, and if you're good, it'll be good, and you'll make money and you'll be famous. And that worked for like 17 people ever. Yeah. The first 17 people. Yeah. And then everyone since then has just gotten more fucking absurd and more ridiculous because algorithms. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So however complicated you think it is being a content creator, multiply it by 50, and it's still not as complicated as you think it is. For people who don't want to go on autopilot and just there's nothing wrong with this. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with going on autopilot and finding a formula and just sticking to it. 100%. That's amazing. Yeah. But that's not for all that's not for everyone. Exactly. And so if you don't want to do that, it's complicated. Right? It's complicated. It's the same thing with like, oh, okay, I want to make more money. I want to take on sponsors. Well, then you have all of the ethical, professional concerns about this and that. You have to worry about optics. You have to worry about possible controversies. You got to worry about this and that and the taxes and then all kinds of other bullshit. And then you have to worry about, you want to make this kind of content, but, making content that isn't inherently shocking or crazy or controversial. It's just good, wholesome, whatever content that people will enjoy. The algorithms just don't give a fuck because they don't get engagement. And without the engagement, they don't get the numbers. And without the numbers, you're not making any money and you're wasting your time. Yep. Right? So you need to do all of these things that people will do nothing but criticize you for doing. But you have no choice, right? Yeah. It's like people, what they're asking for is, I want you to do everything you can not to succeed because it'll bother me if you don't. Yeah. And that's a massive portion of the online consumer community. And I don't think they realize the whole meta thing around like, well, I don't want to. I don't want my title to be Starfield is the worst game. Yeah. I don't want to do Starfield is a bad game. Yeah. Okay. But if I make the title something perfectly accurate and nuanced, it'll get truncated ... and nobody will read it and nobody will
exactly. If your YouTube video's title is like Starfield failed to hit expectations set by Bethesda because Bethesda has overhyped the game and the community, it's like what? Nobody's clicking that video.
Views, as opposed to Starfield is a bad game. Oh, it gets 1 million views. Yeah, 1 million views and 1,000 comments about how your title's clickbait. Why do you need a clickbait, blah, blah. And then I lost respect for you. You'd have more respect for me if you never even heard of my video because it didn't show up in your feed. Wow. That's how we're supposed to live our lives as content creators is we either sell our souls or we sell out or we have to make compromises to be successful. Not everyone can just like be Asmongold or whatever, and just don't do anything except chill and say what they want, and then have editors do all the stuff and they don't do anything. Right? If I could take my streams where I'm just fucking chilling, low energy, playing a game and chilling with chat and whatever, and I could just turn that into an automatic paycheck. Great, right? But I didn't start 10 years ago. I started 6 years ago, so that's impossible.
And I'm sure there's a word for this. Like, I don't know. It's like, what's the opposite of out of sight, out of mind? There's got to be a term for like, you only see the things that are in front of you. And what I mean by that is it reminds me of remember when Arena dropped and like the amount of people that were saying there's only streamers in it. I keep clicking on streams and they're playing. And it was like, I was just losing my mind that it was like all the other people that are playing and not streaming, how would you know they're playing? They're not streaming. So you think everyone that's playing is streaming because you clicked on 4 streams of people that got in. The streamers that haven't gotten in are playing other games. It broke my brain, and it's the same thing. And here's me connecting it to that conversation. It's that person, like you said, would never know that you made the title of your video the respectable one, not only because they wouldn't know who you are, but because a different negative video would have been shown to them. And they would have said the same thing about that video. So there's like no universe where the viewer, and it's like you have to recognize that as a viewer perspective. If you're like everything is negative, it's like, I'm not saying you're responsible, but you have to recognize your participation in the wheel. If you're commenting that everything is negative, you're telling the algorithm you'll comment on videos that are shitty and negative. So it serves you more shitty negative videos. You think the world has gone to shit. There's 700,000 beautifully edited videos with ass titles and thumbnails you won't see, and you're begging for a world where people would just make great videos with ass titles and thumbnails. It's like, it's all out there, man. You only see what you see. And of course that sounds so dumb, but you know what I mean? It's like, so it's hard to, as a content creator, like try to understand the algorithms and play to the algorithms, but then not sacrifice my own content. How do I like create something positive and uplifting and engaging, but that is sticky enough to the thing and is true enough to the original vision of the idea that I wanted to do? And it's hard. And once again, like you said, that is not at all, I'm not at all dogging people that find a formula and stick to it, right? Like if you love eating a ham sandwich every day for lunch for the rest of your life and you never have to think about it, like that's great for you. I need variety in what I eat. Holy cow. So it's like, that's fine if you have the formula. And it's also why a lot of people's content becomes, including my own, more negative over time, because it becomes harder to make content and the more negative stuff does better. And that does some weird thing to your psyche where you're like, oh, I can just sit here and complain all day and get the same or more views as before. I'll just do that instead. But then that's just a black hole where you then find yourself more cynical and more negative, and then the content, and it's just like, I feel like there's an event horizon where you become lost in the negativity and you don't realize. And I feel like I saw the event horizon in the distance and I went, oh shit. And I started playing Delta Force and
Yeah. I mean, this is why I'll just be candid. This is the shit that made me end up going to therapy. Yeah. Right. Because it's such a fucking vortex of like unsatisfaction.
Yeah.
And it's the algorithms turning audiences against the content creators in a weird way.
Yeah.
Right. Like here's the dream. Right. The dream is that all of the viewers are totally self-aware and aware of all of the idiosyncrasies of everything behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so are the content creators. And we're together on the same side against YouTube and Twitch and all the brands.
Yeah.
And Raid Shadow Legends pays me $10,000 to say, hey guys, everybody go play Raid Shadow Legends. It's so great. All you need to do is install it and get your character to level 2, and I'll make $1 bajillion. Yeah. Okay? And because of that, you'll get much better content. And I'm gonna put my video is about the Ford Mustang, okay, but there's gonna be boobs in the thumbnail, and the title is Elon Musk kissing Spider-Man, murdering Elsa, and you guys are all like, and you watch the video, and you're entertained, and you're like, I get it.
Oh
I get
my
it.
God.
Fuck the brands and the platforms. I got entertainment, and the thumbnail, the advertisement, and the title just brought people to the video for the good entertainment, and it got me paid, and you free fucking entertainment. And guess what? You can just if I'm not doing ads in the video, like mid-reel ads, right? It's a 30-second. I'll put in the timestamp. You just click forward. You click forward. I talk for 30 seconds and say whatever dumb shit and make life-changing money.
Yeah.
And you just click forward, right? But instead, you pick the wrong brand. You have the wrong thumbnail. You have the wrong title. And either it's the tiniest minority that have a good, artsy, accurate, fair, perfectly not clickbait, not controversial, total to the heart of the video, thumbnail, title, and a quality edited made video, right?
Yeah.
That also gets 1 million views.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you have incredible videos with actually great titles and fantastic, beautiful thumbnails that get 300 fucking views and don't go anywhere because they didn't get enough engagement, because 600 people watched the video and was like, that was the best video I've seen on YouTube.
And they closed the tab.
and like most normal human being. And I didn't. Here's the thing. I made the video, right? And I didn't beg you to hit the like and subscribe because it's cringy. I don't want to say, hey guys, appreciate you for watching the video. Hit the like and subscribe. But it rips my soul out to have to fucking shout out my Patreon and like and subscribe and blah, blah, blah. But it also rips my heart out to fucking take 1 million Raid Shadow Legends brand deals. And the sad part is that I'm too principled. Like I've gotten in the way of my own success on purpose. I'm going to fucking fail. Yeah. Because it's the right way to do it and fail because fuck you. I'm not I've 500 and something videos, and I've had 3 ad spots. And I get 20 emails a day from companies who want to be in my next video and to pay all kinds. And it's like, I'm not going to take just free shit to talk about a brand I don't give a fuck about. Because the people who are going to say, oh, don't do this or don't do that. And then you have all of that coupled with, bro, who cares what those people say? It's engagement. Fuck them. Just ignore the haters. Well, then you want to go down that path. You ignore all the haters. You tell me at what point, when you're just like, fuck it, ignore all the haters, they mean nothing. Do you then look in the mirror and realize you're like Kanye West and you're like, oh, I got crazy. I think all of the people who are criticizing me, if they're criticizing me, they're haters and they're nothing and they're irrelevant.
That's dangerous.
And then you completely veer off into crazy, the thing that people think I am, which is like crazy narcissist. I think I'm better than everyone, all of these things. Then you just end up not listening to any criticism. You end up saying, fuck all these people. They're subhuman. How many subscribers do they have? No one's watching their videos. I'm better than them. Look at my success. Look at my cars. And it's really not a far branch from just ignore the haters to you have like a cult. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, the haters could, if there's going to be the most valuable feedback you're going to get, it's going to be from the haters. Because it's either people jerking you off and saying, I love everything, don't change. And it's like, wow, my ego, that's when your ego gets inflated. Right? Or it's, people are like, oh, here's a criticism. And it's this weird fine line between you can let the criticism make you quit on one end,
Yep.
You can completely ignore the haters and ignore all criticism, which I think it ends up in narcissist douchebag land. Or you can be somewhere in the middle, which is some of the negativity and criticism may be valid. And if there's a chance it's valid, then there's a chance it might get to you because you have to give it attention and you have to pay some mind to it.
Yeah.
And if you don't care what people think, you just end up Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just have success for the sake of success and be a fucking gajillionaire. I could have done that. It would have been so easy I was on the fast path, right?
Yeah.
And instead I saw the paths and I said, now there's more than two paths, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But there's a million ones. And I basically chose one that wasn't the easy path to super success. And the funny thing is how many douchebags, these are the people that don't care, that don't matter, where, they're like, you fell off. Look how many, you only got 50 viewers. There will be a day when Shroud has 0 viewers.
Yeah. Yep.
But guess what? Shroud went all the way up here. And at some point, right, he's not going to be up here forever. He's not going to be dead, buried in the ground with 20,000 viewers. At some point, it's got to end.
Yep.
Okay? You never had 100,000 concurrent viewers for 24 hours. I did once. If that's my peak, cool, man.
Yep.
Fine, right?
Yep.
But, I'm not gonna turn into Jake Paul just because some fucking 20-year-old from the UK that's been, jerking to my stream trolling for 5 years has some shit to say about my content or my attitude or whatever, right?
Yep.
So there's my fucking rant about how, and that's 2% of the complexity and what goes on in at least my head when it deals with, I want to make content. I want to be proud of what I make. I want to make money. I don't want to sell my soul. I don't want to be a douchebag. I want to be able to have success on 6 different platforms at the same time, while also having a wife of 10 years and be happy with my wife, and to have her be proud of me, and to have my dad be proud of me, and to have her parents respect what I do, and be able to sit down with my fucking 68-year-old uncle and when he says, what do you do? I can explain it to him and not feel like a complete fucking clown.
Yeah. Okay, well, you see, I have this meme coin and we're pumping it so I can rug pull my audience. Oh, man. No, I feel you, dude. I feel you. And it's just, interesting where, like we said, the people that criticize the content won't watch the content if you take the criticism to some degree, right? There's obviously extremely valid criticism of your content. And like you were alluding to, the near impossible task of sifting through genuine assholes pretending to give actual feedback, people giving actual feedback, people jerking you off. It's that's a never ending battle, but
it's either you care about feedback or you don't.
Yeah. But there's some level of people, there's that. It's just having that realization where it's I want your content to be more this, and then you make it more that, and they're not around. They don't see it because the way it works. And so it's it's just an interesting, I don't know. That's just been something I've been thinking about a lot. You only see what you see. You only see what's in front of you. It's the same thing when people are the devs really should stop listening to the streamers. The streamers are ruining this game. It's you think the streamers all want the same thing because you only interacted with the 4 clips of 4 streamers saying they wanted this, which isn't something you want, and you interacted with all those clips. You know what I mean? It's get 10 streamers together, none of them are going to agree on anything. You know what I mean? It's and a billion people that aren't streamers think the same way that the streamers think, and it's but you just see, I don't know, just recognize that social media is not a good window into humanity or into the world. It is not a whole and complete picture. It is a picture very outspokenly, specifically designed for you. So I'm not saying don't be on social media. understand what it is. All these companies have been talking about their algorithms for years, right? Like 50 years ago, the word algorithm was not in the general lexicon. Everybody know. We all talk about the algorithm. Oh, like, babe, why did you show me this weird picture? The algorithm is doing like, we all talk about the algorithms. It's like they're saying it out loud. All of this technology exists to give you a very specifically curated window into the world, which is okay. Until you
don't put it down.
Until you start thinking everyone in the world fits in this window. That's when it's not okay. It's like, Jesus Christ, they've been telling you the whole time, this isn't all of humanity. It's just the parts of it you want to see. So if you interact with 4 clips of 4 different streamers saying Warzone, needs to bring, Pony, Hello Kitty Island Adventure skins, it's like, don't just be like, every streamer wants... It's like, that's the point, is it's just stuff that's going to get you riled up. There's a world out there, and you don't have to engineer your Instagram algorithm to be a perfect representation of the whole world. You don't have to do that. Just don't think that your Instagram algorithm is a perfect representation of the whole world. It's not. It's exactly what you want to see and interact with, so you look at it as much as possible. And just let it be that. I freaking doom scroll YouTube shorts sometimes just to like chill or whatever. But I don't look at 6 shorts and then be like, oh my God, everyone in the world thinks this exact same thing and they're all assholes for it. You know what I mean? It's like.
And how often do you leave your criticism, your like, here's an issue I have with this content comment? How often do you
literally
leave that?
Never.
Yeah, no, because like, what people have to realize, right? If they could just put themselves in the shoes of a content creator, make something that a random sampling of 50,000 people that they all like, and that no one has any problems with.
Yeah.
Now, it's obviously impossible, right? Yeah. Well, then who cares about what the X amount of people, right? Like this, it's the same people on one hand that want to say, well, who cares about X, those subset of people that also, on the other hand, they're saying to someone else, don't realize when they're like, I have a problem with this other person's content and this thing. And it's like, then you are the 300 people out of the 50,000 that you just told someone else don't fucking matter, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I wish everybody consumed the internet content. Like, I get it. I know what it's like. So when I see the dumb ad for Raid Shadow Legends, I'm always like, get that bag, skip.
Yep.
Why can't everyone just do that?
Yeah.
Why do people have to like
your description earlier of a perfect world is, dude, it's so on point. I've always
just be self-aware.
I've always thought about that too. Like when I first started taking sponsorships, you know what I mean? It's like, I've done a few ads where, you want to, when I'm doing the ad, when I'm like playing the game, you don't want to be self-aware. When you're like doing the ad, the sponsor stream, you don't want to like look in the camera and be like, guys, we all know what's going on here, right? Like, I'm playing this shitty ass game so I can make a living so you can get free entertainment. Like, that's obviously really, but sometimes I want to say that. I'm like, people get so butthurt, and I'm thinking like, dude, 2 hours I'm playing this game over the course of, I stream 60 hours a week, 4 weeks a month. So I don't have to be like, hey, our sub numbers are really low. Any tier 2s out there? Can we get some tier 2 subs? Like, it's like, I've never understood that you don't get that. And I've thought that way even before I was a content creator watching. It's like, yeah, I don't want to pay for this. So like, yeah, get the bag. Like, I would so much rather brands pay my salary and then like not need a single Twitch sub, or you know, like, then you get free content and I don't have to like, guilt you into it or whatever. Like, it's so weird. So yeah, like, I wish we could just all be self-aware enough that it's like, titles are gonna be clickbait, thumbnails are gonna be clickbait, I'm gonna be right. But then it's like, then we're all on the same team and it's just, we all get what we want. Free, you get free content that you enjoy.
But the problem is that too many people are either on their high horse or they're fucking NPCs. Yeah. And they don't realize they're not the main character. They don't realize that there's like, You know, like we all can't be internet historian and be like, "Whoa, Player Age Shadow Legends is such a good game." Like sometimes people can be like, can say the quiet part out loud, and be like, "I'm doing this. None of you are gonna fucking download it, but it doesn't matter because I'm making that paper and click on the link and whatever." And like people are happy to fucking do that, right? It's the same thing with like Twitch Prime. The fact that I don't constantly say, hey guys, if you have your Twitch Prime, it's literally, it's free money from fucking Amazon to me. You click a button and you're transferring money from Amazon to me. There's a button that you can click that transfers money from Amazon to me. And I can't bring myself to say that.
Oh, I say that shit all the time.
Ever. Twitch
Prime.
Now I'll meme about it every now and then, right?
Yeah.
But like, but that's people want us to be principled, right?
Yeah.
My principle is that I silently make less money.
Yeah.
Are you proud of me?
Yeah.
Are you proud of me, guys? Do you know how many decisions I make that do nothing but get in the way of my success on principle that you'll never know about? Because I'm a fucking douchebag with principles, and I don't want anyone. I can't stand the idea of anyone being like, "Oh, you sold out and blah 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 blah." So it's like, fine, fuck you. I won't sell out and I'll make no money. Eat shit. Eat shit, because I give up more success than people like you could possibly have if you tried. So eat shit.
Oh my God, yes.
And I don't even really mean that.
No, of course. Yeah, but
because some of the people who say that kind of degen shit, I'm absolutely right about. But obviously not everyone.
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
Oh man. And dude.
And of course I get fucking couple 3
primes.
Twitch primes. Bro, you know that's the funny thing? That's the funny thing too, is that there are times when, thank you guys for the primes. There are times when I want to talk about, it's like talking about the trolls. I can't talk about the troll, like the meta conversation. I want all of us to step out of the Twitch box and to have a conversation about where everyone's like, "Bro, why are you in the box?" It's like, no, I'm not upset about the trolls. I want to talk about the meta concept of trolling. Let's be adults and recognize that, like, you know, but they don't have the fucking awareness. They're too plugged into the fucking matrix, right? There are times where I want to talk about something having to do with like either donations or subs, but the thing is that if I'm like talk about $100 donation, if I talk about it and I say don't do it, someone will do it. And that makes me cringe because I feel like I'm like tricking some, so I just don't.
Because then you feel like you're taking advantage of the fact that if I'm like
because I know someone is going to be like and now I can't even say the thing
I know what you mean. You don't want it to sound like you're mad at the person for doing the thing. You just don't want to be viewed as someone who knows the meta part of what's happening and then is intentionally bringing it up, trying to guilt somebody into doing it. But of course you appreciate it. Yeah, it's
God, dude, I just wish I didn't fucking care.
I
wish that I was just like the narcissist, like douchebag that everyone thinks I am, that it's so easy to make money on these fucking platforms.
I wish we could just freaking Pog coin rug pull, make a couple milli, split it evenly, you know.
It would be so easy, bro. It would be so easy because like we're the trusted rational people. Why would we ever? And guess what? I'm not going to be streaming. I'm quitting. I'm going to get a real job in 6 months. Dude, I want to just make $1 million and piece the fuck out. There's no accountability. And guess what? If I don't care about my fucking platform because I'm leaving, then whatever, right? But I have a spine, so I wouldn't, right? Fuck. Oh, God.
V-coin. Oh, God.
You know how many? There has been three 3 separate projects that I consulted for. I'm sure if you want to fucking sue me, come sue me. All right. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to say any names. Pretty sure the NDA, whatever.
Yeah.
I was consulting for multiple companies making effectively Tarkov clones.
Yeah.
That involved NFTs or some kind of digital currency or whatever. There was one that I was involved in for like 2 or 3 months before I found out that they were like, oh, involves buying like land and shit in the game and all this stuff. And it's like, I wasn't even making sponsored content.
Yeah.
I was private consulting about game design shit.
Yeah.
This was like 2 years ago, and I cut ties with them, and they never paid me for the 3 months, and I don't even want their money. I explicitly, for 3 months of contracting.
Damn.
Of consulting with design, getting a fucking Zoom calls, because I don't want to have to deal with being in one of the fucking CoffeeZilla expose videos.
Yep.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Yep.
I care too much for someone who cares too much about their fucking their brand and their vision. It's really great that so many people just fucking hate my face so much.
Oh,
great.
God.
It's great for the day to day.
Holy.
Fuck me.
Wowzers.
Brother, 6 minutes.
Well,
Severance episode comes out.
Oh my God.
My wife ordered pizza. I'm going to watch Severance.
The past 2 were insane too. Holy.
Brother, I'm going to say one thing.
The goats, bruh.
Helly's not Helly. It's Helena. That's what I think. That's my theory. She's not. She's weird. She's too weird. Think about it. She will never say anything that her Audi. No, sorry. She won't say anything or do anything that only her innie would know. All the things that are on camera, all the things that just the moment she talks about.
Well, now I'm gonna. Yeah. Dude.
My wife Irving knows. My wife is in chat. The one year she comes in a chat, she's like, "Yo, Irving knows."
He knows something for sure. Oh, dude, I forgot that's tonight. Oh my God, I'm so excited. 5 minutes. Hugh Mungo. Oh, well, anyways, thank you guys for hanging. Thank you guys for coming to our therapy session. Thank you guys for supporting the conversation. I mean, I know we talked about gaming a lot today, and we will continue to do so, but it meant a lot, the reception to like last week's episode. I think, the more that we break away from, like you did it first, but the more we break away from like one game being our identity as an entire content creator, the more the podcast will just be genuinely us talking about whatever interests us this week, whether that's I Found Arma Reforger or a 2-hour conversation on the anatomy of an internet troll, which was last week's, like whatever it is. And the support of that is very appreciated. You know, it meant a lot to both of us, the feedback from last week's episode. So thank you. If you want more content like this, patreon.com/thepogcastpod, where you can get an extra episode every single week, early ad-free access to these episodes. You guys the best. Thank you for hanging, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Be good, kids.